Hey guys, what's up? My name is Alex Fox, and in today's video, we're going to be going deeper into edit mode. In last video, I did make a scene. I just deleted that because we made that using elements, using the search. But now we're going to look at how you can create your own objects from scratch, as well as more logic. Let's get into it. So first off, here's our blank canvas like we had last time. Now, in the corner here, this is important, it says you are in assembly mode. So that is the mode we're in right now, and each mode contains its own sets of tools, options, and guides. So if we head into this category here, the modes menu, we can change that mode. So let's start by heading into Sculpt Mode. So here I have a sculpture attached to my imp. Right now it's a cube, but I can alter it to anything else. And if we look in the corner, more importantly, you can say it says you are in Sculpt Mode using the Smear Shape tool. So in Sculpt Mode, you can just create stuff. So objects are called sculptures. So let's just start by placing down a little checkerboard pattern. So here we are. So what if we press circle to deselect the tool, we'll see if we go to the tools menu, are now back in the move tool, which is what you'd normally be in. And we have a bunch of other tools as well. So let's leave the mode. We can do it with that button there, or we can use L1 and circle to exit any mode or any interface at any time. So now, once we have a sculpture, it'll behave like one object. We can tweak it like one object, and we can move it around with one object. It is also worth noting that if we have a block that's completely disattached from the sculpture, it will behave like a single sculpture still. So the way to fix that is if we head back into Sculpt Mode, you can also, on a sculpture, press L1 and X just to edit it, and it will automatically put you in Sculpt Mode. Very handy. You can click that button there, add and subtract, or we can use triangle to adjust the as a little shortcut. So we can just completely remove this now. We can completely remove sculptures instead of adding them. I don't want this to be too wacky, so we'll just leave it how it is, so we can still use undo tool. Deselect it and then exit. So the next thing I'm going to show you works well without grid snap. It will work good with precise move though, so we'll just keep that in mind. And it's called paint mode. So everything in Dreams is made up of flecks, like sculptures. But in paint mode, we can create individual flecks, like this. So let's just do a little wavy line. And nope. So we can use X or R2 to paint. So this should do us good. Now we have like a completely tangled spiral. Let's turn back on grid snap, which will also deactivate precise move. And here we are. We have two clay-like colours of, so we have a sculpture and a painting. So the third mode is coat mode. It's this bucket of paint being spilt here. And this is how we colour stuff. Now, it is worth noting we can colour it with a tweak menu. However, if you're colouring a group, so if you have two objects grouped together in one, then we are going to have to use coat mode. So let's head to the colours menu. So when you enter coat mode, the tint tool is activated by default. So you need to select some colours. So I'm just going to go red. It's nice and simple and bright. So select a colour, and now that's the colour that your tint tool will tint with. So So apply it until it stops. And apply it to the painting as well. So these are all red. Just like in Sculpt Mode, we can also add and subtract using the shortcut triangle. And we can also switch back to it using triangle. And, like we did last time, we can also leave it with L1 and circle. So, everything in Dreams is made up of flecks. So here are the sculptures. You see these tiny little dots here? Those are flecks. So in Style Mode, which is like the curly S thing, we can manipulate those. The simplest form is the looseness tool. So selecting this, we'll just loosen up all the flecks so they're less tightly packed together. This texture is pretty ugly, so we can use add and subtract again. So I want it a little bit loose, just like that. We can also use impasto to make all of the flecks a bit more 3D. But to show that we did that, we can use the apply fleck tool and then click flex. And we can just pick one. I'm going to go with, we'll go with square. Or maybe we can use baroque. Yeah, I like that one more. And then the impasto tool will make those flecks look a lot more 3D. The comb tool I use to adjust the direction of the flecks. And the ruffle tool is used to adjust the randomness of the effects. Here we have the neatness. So this will make the flecks straight. I don't want that. But, you know, I think we might have gone a little too overboard. So let's dial everything back using the revert tool. And we can apply that just like normal. Nice. Now here we have effects mode. I won't show you this in practice, but basically all the tools here are assigned to a random effect. So we have the boil tool by default, then the flow, the wave, the evaporate, the throb, and again we have the revert tool. We can have the throb just for effects as well as everything else. So if we hover over them, it will give us a description of what they do, but all of these just animate flecks, and we can add and subtract like we did last time. Now, this is the one that I use in pretty much all the past videos. Sound mode. I did a deep dive into this very mode earlier on in my channel, so go check that out. There'll be a little notification icon in the top right corner. So, yeah, we can search for instruments, sound effects, effect fields, and music clips. We can grab out a music timeline, but we're not actually doing that. Our tools here are pretty similar. We have move, clone, delete, draw notes, perform, sound recorder, and audio import. Settings here is basically the replacement for guides, because it does have grid snap and legato mode and music snap and the touchpad functionality, I think. And here I have sound gadgets. We'll get to these later in the video. I haven't shown these off yet. And then we have the show hide, just like normal. Next to this is test mode. This is pretty useless right now, so I will go ahead and grab out a puppet. So, let's just get this one. So we don't actually have to go to the play mode for this to work. We just go into test mode. We can run everything like this, but we're still in edit mode, so we can see all the gadgets and stuff when we have any. So we can leave, or we can exit test. We can also rewind time, like we normally do. In test mode, everything is quite packed together. So show and hide, stuff for unlocking camera, heat maps, analysis, just basically a bunch of things to make sure your scene runs smoothly. Update mode is used for objects that you get from the Dreamiverse, and then they stamp, but there's nothing really to update right now. And photo mode is used for just capturing creations, and you can save these locally and online. So let's get to the animating menu. Here we have the action recorder. So this will turn your imp into a diamond. You can basically just move stuff around and then press stop recording. And now if we play time, a person should move about. It doesn't though. So if we try retaking it, we can press triangle on something to deanimate it instead of delete it. It will play the delete sound though. So let's animate this. So let's just move it about and then put it back a few grid spaces off center and press stop recording. So we'll move it back to where it originally was. But now we can press loop, so it will do it like this. Hopefully. So I think there's actually a problem with the action recorder. I haven't dabbled it in. But the action recorder, it does have its full-on tutorial. It's quite long. Keyframe, I have shown this off before. This isn't really for animating, this is just for basically anything, because it records changes to anything, including tweak menus. Timeline is a bit like the music timeline. In fact, it's exactly like the music timeline, except it just shows it in seconds if we open it up. Then we record possession and mic on and off. I haven't played around with those, so I don't know what they are. Now finally, here we have gadgets. I did show these briefly last video. So I showed sensors and input, movers and output, logic and processing. We have a bunch of those common stuff you'll find in the computer. So for example, we have a wide calculator here, a splitter, a microchip. Now here we have gameplay gear. This is something I didn't show off, so we have a checkpoint. So that is, well, if a character dies, they will respawn back at that checkpoint. A doorway, an auto guide, global settings, score modifier, blank puppet, a collection of blank puppets, a puppet interface. Basically everything that's not movers and output stuff. And logic and processing. Just stuff to make your scene run smoothly. And here we have cameras and lighting. I use this in the music video. And I will use them in my upcoming song. Here we have connectors, which you can join to other stuff to make like bolts and stuff, so like door hinges. And here we have sound gadgets. I will go into these in a later video, hopefully. But speaker, these are all of the delay, the reverb channels. These are all the delay channels. And we have a master mixer for pretty much everything. And then we have separate channels for music, voice, character, background, and gameplay. So that's pretty much it for what I want to show you. I'm not going to save this, so we just press exit creation and don't save. So we're going to head into start creating again and now click new dream. We can search for any scene we like, so let's just select this one here. And then you'll see if this scene has a doorway, one of these plugs will appear on the end. And then we can link it up to other stuff. It's cool. But I won't show you it today. So, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, a comment, and most importantly, big juicy subscribe. See ya!